Cory Kispert is out for the season. So, how does the injury impact the Washington Wizards, and who fills the void when it comes to minutes and production? Then we're going to do a recap for last night's game versus the Portland Trailblazers. Come on now, rock with your boys. Next on Locked On Wizards.
You are Locked On Wizards, your daily Washington Wizards podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy BScott again with my guy, AB. And today we're going to chop it up like we always do. Cory Kispert is out for the season. So how does that impact the Washington Wizards, and who fills the void in production and playing minutes? And then we're going to do a recap from last night's loss against the Portland Trailblazers. Turnovers were a factor. So like I said, a lot to talk about. But like I said, first things first, Cory Kispert is out for the season. So let me go ahead and pull up the official press release from the Washington Wizards. Now, this is the official press release from the Washington Wizards, and it says, quote unquote, Washington Wizards guard and / forward Cory Kispert underwent a successful surgical procedure today in New York City to repair a ligament tear to his left thumb. The injury was sustained in the third quarter against the Denver Nuggets on March 15th. Kispert is expected to make a full recovery and be ready for the start of next season. So, obviously, AB, we just lost Bilal. Now we lost Cory Kispert. First glance, you kind of say, man, we're definitely going to miss her production, especially when you look at Kispert being that three-point threat, being that slasher, the high basketball IQ. Looking at Bilal, obviously we're missing a lot of defense, some offensive production. But, how hard does this hit the Washington Wizards? And when you look at filling the void, who makes up as far as the minutes and production off the second unit?
Yeah, no, it does suck because I've always been a big Cory Kispert guy coming out of Gonzaga. And ultimately, we talked about it not too long ago. I will think the Wizards will move on for him just from the fact that, again, he wasn't a Michael Winger / Will Dawkins guy. I think that plays a big part of it. Just the timeline, he's a little older than some of the other guys. So especially when Keyshawn George, as of late, being that three-point sniper, I think Cory Kispert's main, obviously, role was, spot up. But there was times throughout the season where it was very inconsistent. And then, as recently before the injury, there were times where it was like 20 to 15 points a game. But honestly, a guy that could take up that role, like I mentioned, Keyshawn, Rishawn, like you call him, he's been really lighting it up recently. And again, two ways, a player with his potential is through the roof. And again, a guy from this recent draft class. So it does suck, but at the end of the day, the Wizards, I think they know what they're doing. This organization knows that, hey, Cory Kispert wasn't this front office. This guy was the prior regime, so it wouldn't make sense. And obviously, Will Dawkins, he wants to get as much draft capital as he can, so I wouldn't be surprised if they move on from him.
That's a good take, man, and I agree 100%. Now, looking at Cory Kispert, what kind of impact does this make on the team? Well, you're losing one of your best three-point shooters. Cory Kispert definitely could be a three-level scorer, man. He could hit the mid-range, definitely hit the three-point shot. You see him very active in driving the lane, making those layups, slash to the lane without the ball. He shows a high level of basketball IQ. So he is definitely a piece to this team. So they're definitely going to miss a three-point shooter. Now, with Keyshawn George, you still got a sniper on the team. Bug can shoot a three. I mean, obviously JP13 can shoot a three. So you still have some level of three-point production, but you are going to take a hit in that area from the loss of Cory Kispert. To me, the biggest loss is, again, moving out the basketball. That is a skill that you don't see a lot in the NBA anymore. Cory Kispert, amongst a couple other guys on the roster, man, he is the best guy moving out the ball. And you love to see that with three-point shooters. Because like I say it all the time, Ray Allen, the late, not late, he's still alive, but the great Ray Allen, he was one of the best three-point shooters, but also one of the best three-point shooters in players, period, to move without the basketball, find the best spots to shoot. And he's just money, man. So like I said, Cory Kispert, his basketball IQ will be missed. And his second unit, he was practically the de facto sixth man. I mean, he was the guy, he was that microwave scorer, that go-to scorer, the sixth man off the second unit. So the question is, who emerges in minutes and production? So let's take a look at the depth charts real quick. So the easy question, looking at the second unit, obviously with Marcus Smart still dealing with an injury, AJ Johnson got his first start versus Portland. So obviously we're going to talk about the Portland game, but AJ Johnson's a guy who's definitely going to get more minutes. So, with that void in minutes, AJ Johnson's going to be a good candidate to get more playing minutes. Now, looking at the second unit, Bub Carrington and Justin Shimpney are the headliners for the second unit. So obviously you're going to see a lot more scoring opportunities from Bub. I definitely see Bub emerging as a sixth man and Justin Shimpney not far behind, being the 1-2 punch off the second unit. But who else would I like to see emerge? When it comes to minutes, Tristan Vucevic, I think you find him more minutes. Now, He showed against Portland. Like, we're going to talk about Portland, but he showed, and he continues to show that with minutes he can produce. With minutes, he can show that he could be the long-term option as far as backup center behind Alex R. Vucevic, first glance, is the first guy I'm thinking of if getting more minutes. Now, who else? Colby Jones. I think that in very limited action, you kind of see the potential. Very raw, coming and from the Sacramento Kings in the Jonas Valanciunas trade. Played a lot for the Stockton Kings, their G League affiliate. A guy that I kind of saw shooting around a few times down at the practice facility. I looked at a lot of his tape. He's got the scoring mentality. I like Colby Jones. So I think that if you're intent on trying to get, evaluate a lot of these younger guys outside of Champaign and Bob Carrington in the second unit, you give minutes to Colby Jones, and you definitely give him a lot more minutes to Tristan Vucevic. So, AB, real quick, do you kind of mirror that? As far as minutes and production, do you see that Bob Carrington and or Justin Shimney are probably going to merge as a six man? And looking at an allotment of minutes now that Bilal and Cory Kispert are out of the equation, are you looking at Colby Jones and Tristan Vucevic, or what other players do you kind of see could emerge getting minutes?
No, you hit the nail on the head, because again, at the end of the day, the reality situation as of right now, the Wizards fortunately not making the playoffs. So let's just see what these young guys got. Like, legit, let's see who can fit in this timeline, fit in this culture. And again, Tristan Vucevic, our guy, 17 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, 2 blocks. Again, when given minutes, he goes out there and just proves why he should be getting more playing time. I definitely think he's part of the timeline. It just goes back to a second round pick. It's amazing. Again, all these young guys that we have here. And at the end of the day, like, obviously it sucks that Bilal Kispert out for the season, but now we get to see what we have in these young guys. And at the end of the day, you don't really lose much because you're not really. If we were a playoff team, then there's cause for concern. Right now, you're just waiting to the end of the season and then going into this offseason and see who's on the roster for next year.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like, I made it known that I think they need to start building more, but you still have a lot of choices going forward, especially going into this next offseason. This next offseason is very pivotal because you're still evaluating who's part of the future. I made it known that, look, we got 5 draft picks in the last 2 drafts. You've got 4 first rounders in the next couple of drafts. So you have 9 young prospects, and you're not even taking into account Colby Jones, AJ Johnson. You still got vets in Chris Middleton, Marcus Smart. You got guys in Jordan Poole that you should, and that's going to be a question I'm asking you in a little bit, but a guy who could definitely be part of the long-term future here. Saddiq Bey, Cory Kispert. And I'm with you as far as the Tommy Shepard picks. You saw Rui get traded underneath Tommy Shepard, that is, but underneath general manager Will Dawkins, Denny Avdia was moved to Portland. Cory Kispert is the guy where I can see him getting dealt. Now, I'm going to ask you real quick, Jordan Poole, as you know, I'm a big JP13 guy. And I think that the fact that he's just now entering his prime, he's playing at an all-star level. I'm going to ask you real quick, do you see him as a future piece, and would you be upset if they actually shopped him on the trade market?
For me, I just can't see why would you why wouldn't you be upset? The game winners that we've seen, the clutch moments, his ability to score 30 to 40, and obviously there were some off nights, but defensively he's gotten better. As a leader, he's gotten better. Poised, calm, collected. 26 years old, like we mentioned, hasn't even hit his prime yet. I would be pretty upset, and I think a lot of Wizards fans should, because again, this man, how it ended in Golden State, with all that drama, and coming in here in the Wizards team where his first year wasn't the best start, but him getting better, working in the offseason is what we want to see in our point guard. And from what we've seen in John Wall to Jordan Poole, hopefully can transition. And again, Jordan Poole has a 3-point shot. And if consistency and his passing gets better, it's just, I think the sky's the limit for this guy.
No, I agree 100%. And like I said, being media, being a writer, sports writer, I'm very unbiased. Like I said, I give criticism where it's due. I give credit where it's due. With Jordan Poole, I say it all the time. I've said it to him personally. What impressed me was the fact that he took so many L's his first year in DC. And then when he got reverted to 6-man, he flourished. When he became the starter again, he flourished. He could have easily got into his feelings. He could have easily got upset, did the Ben Simmons thing, would quit on the organization. He didn't. He took his L's and he kept working. The offseason, he put into work. He's playing it at a career level, man, as far as an all-star level. This is a career season for him. You see the leadership. Now, it's not to say he still has some growing to do. Absolutely, he's still young. He still has some development to do. Yeah, he's still young. But you keep players like that around. Saddiq Bey. If Saddiq Bey can show that he can contribute, we know what he can do. We've seen what he did in Detroit. We saw what he did in Atlanta. He could play. Saddiq Bey is a baller. And Cory Kispert, like I said, I would not be upset if they decided to hold on to him because, like I said, I'm a big Cory Kispert guy. He's a good locker room presence. 3-point shooter, mid-range, his ability to move it out the basketball IQ. So many reasons you keep him around. But like I said, when you're looking through the realm of, every GM comes in and makes their own marketing organization. Every GM does that. Every sport. They come in, they prioritize their own guys, they hire their own staff. Major League Baseball, the NFL, the NBA, they all do it. So Will Dawkins is not doing anything that no other GM has done. And Tommy didn't do it because Tommy was a protege of Ernie Grunfeld. So you pretty much just replaced the old with the new. I mean, you know what I mean? Because you hired the guy who was underneath the old guy. So it wasn't much of a transition when you think about it like that. But Will Dawkins is going to prioritize his own guys. You know, look, Bilal is his first draft pick. That's going to be his emphasis. So I agree with you. I think Cory Kispert will be shopped, but Jordan Poole and Sadiq Bey were his acquisitions. So when you're looking at through the lens of loyalty to your own players, Jordan Poole was brought over here through Will Dawkins. So I think that there's going to be a little loyalty when it comes to Sadiq Bey and Jordan Poole, especially if they show they can play. Because look, the rebuild doesn't have to last forever. You already see Jordan Poole playing at all-star level. Sadiq Bey, we don't know yet, right? Chris Middleton, Marcus Smart, Rashawn Holmes, great veterans who not only brought experience and mentorship, but they still got some gas left in the tank. 5 draft picks underneath Will Dawkins have all shown they can be high-impact key contributors down the road. If not now, you already see it with Keyshawn George. He's already a two-way stud now. Bub Carrington, he's a microwave scorer, man. Combo guard coming off the second unit. But Bilal and Alex Sarr. Alex Sarr already shown progress offensively to the point where people are already saying, look, watch out for this kid, man. Watch out for this young man. Excuse me. And then, like I said, Tristan Vucevic being a second-round pick, the fact that he not only showed up and he's not somewhere in Timbuktu or Siberia, it says a lot to Will Dawkins what he's doing. So, like I said, we're in a good position. I think that we should continue to build and not think about, because, last video, I went over the picks. We have a lot of picks. We're in a good spot with picks. When you want to acquire young talent in the early picks in the 2025, 26, and 27, you got those picks. When it comes to having leverage in trade talks for that one key acquisition, that Donovan Mitchell type of acquisition, we have the picks in 28, 29, 30, and 31 to make it happen. So we're already a good spot. So if you're looking at it through the lens of gaining draft capital, we have draft capital. Now, if you're looking at it through the lens of saying Presti's protege, Will Dawkins, which he came over from Oklahoma City, he's not going to cease from acquiring draft capital. That's just the name of the game in OKC. And that's where Will Dawkins came from. So I get it from that lens. So I'm with the AB. I think you continue to build. You got an all-star already on the roster.
Mm-hmm. And on top of that, you got those pick swaps too, man. I'm telling you, bro, Phoenix is falling apart. And no one wants to talk about it, but I'm telling you, within these next couple of years, they're going to look back and say, because a lot of people thought the Wizards got robbed, but looking back, especially if KD leaves, D-Book leaves, and who else am I missing out in Phoenix? Is those two, right?
Bill, KD, and Book.
Bill, KD, and Devin Booker. How did I forget Bill? But it's just like at the end of the day, they're imploding, and that's the best perfect time. It's sort of I'm not comparing the same, but Brooklyn and Boston, how that went down with that when they traded the big three, I think it'll come back to bite them. And for us Wizards fans, we just got to sit down and wait.
Look, I'm with you, man. Don't forget those pick swaps, man, because I'm saying right now, the Phoenix Suns are a wet fart. I mean, they're terrible right now. They're in a bad spot. They have no future, and their present does not look good. I mean, Bradley Beal, we already know the conundrum with Bradley Beal. KD looks like he's probably going to be on another team next year. And I think they're hesitant to move on from D-Book because obviously he's been a homegrown talent there. So I'm with you. So the future's bright, man. The future's bright. But like I said, a lot of losses, man. Not only did we lose Cory Kispert for the year, we did lose against the Trailblazers last night. So we're going to do a recap and then get in the comments like we always do. But before we do, tonight's episode is brought to you by Hungryroot. When it comes to grocery shopping and meal planning, I've had this ongoing problem. I just don't have the time between work, life, and trying to eat healthier. I was constantly feeling stressed out. I'd go to the grocery store and buy things I didn't need or definitely didn't want, and then end up with no time to actually cook it, right? And sticking to my health goals, that was a struggle too. And I know a lot of you guys definitely know what I'm talking about. But everything changed when I discovered Hungryroot. Honestly, it's been a game changer. It's the easiest way to eat healthy without all the stress. With Hungryroot, it's like having a personal shopper and a nutritionist all in one. They take care of my grocery shopping, recommending meals and groceries based on my taste and my health goals, from anti-inflammatory to high protein to gluten-free options. And the best part, every meal is ready in 15 minutes or less. Oh, Lord. I'm talking quick, healthy meals that actually taste good, all delivered right to your front door. It's been a huge time saver and a game changer, and has made healthy eating so much simpler. So, look, if you like me, you want to make some changes in your life, you're going to love Hungryroot as much as I do. For a limited time, get 40% off your first box and a free item in every box for life. Come on now. Just go to hungryroot.com/LockedOnNBA and use code LockedOnNBA. That's hungryroot.com/LockedOnNBA. Code LockedOnNBA to get 40% off your first box and a free item of your choice for life. For life, people. hungryroot.com/LockedOnNBA. Don't miss out. Tonight's episode is also brought to you by Monarch Money. Ever check your bank account and wonder, where did all my money go? All the time. Between dining out, online shopping, and entertainment, it's easy to lose track. That's where Monarch Money comes in. Your personal CFO, giving you full visibility and control over your finances. Monarch Money isn't just a budgeting app. It's a complete financial command center. You can check all your accounts, investments, and spending all in one place. So you stop just managing your money and start building wealth. It's that easy. If you're like me, guys, where you want to manage all your funds, all your investments, all in one-stop shop, this is where you go, man. Monarch Money is definitely what I recommend. So look, take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use promo code LOCKEDONNBA at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com, code LOCKEDONNBA for half off your first year. Monarch Money. All right, AB, let's get back into this thing, man. So the Washington Wizards last night fell to the Portland Trailblazers 112-97, and turnovers were the tail of the tape. Every other category, real quick, AB, they were pretty much even. Rebounds, they were literally 60-60 even, man. But looking at turnovers, we had 16 compared to the 9, and they capitalized by scoring 20 points off of turnovers. So was turnovers the defining factor why the Wizards lost in Portland last night?
Yeah, no, I think it goes back to what I always say. You can't if you don't win the turnover battle, it's hard to win in any sports realm. And I mean, Alfred Simons, he's another Wizards killer. We can add him to the list. Yeah. Be 30. He's a dog. And we talked about it, but the Trailblazers, they have some interesting pieces. And Denny, every now and then I see he's dropping 30. But yeah, it was just an off night for the Wizards. But I guess the one positives were seeing our big man Sarr 24, 3 and 1 and 2, and then Vooch, we said 17, 8 and 2. So at the end of the day, the Wizards, it was a West Coast game. You know, it's late over there, but would like to see more of a fight, especially because we want to see these young guys do good, and especially since this Trailblazers team isn't really competing in the Western Conference. So again, it is what it is, but you just can't win. You can't turn over the ball over that much compared to the opposing team they expect to win.
Like I said, it varies per sport, obviously. Baseball, you don't hear too much about turnovers, but football, basketball, what do they say? Turnovers kill you, man. You cannot. Ball security is important, and it's been a recurring issue this year. Now, defense overall has been an issue for the Wizards. Ball moving on offense has been an issue, but this has been the biggest issue, in my opinion. Turnovers. And obviously, with the team being younger, you know, they're a lot more aggressive, so you're going to see a lot more turnovers. So, like I said all the time, I'd rather them make these mistakes now in the second half of the season than to make these mistakes 1, 2, 3 years down the line. I want them to get it out of their system now because this is all part of development. So I'm not too concerned, but like I said, if you look at the fact that there was 20 points off of those turnovers. So 20 points changes the direct trajectory of this game. I mean, we lost by 15 points. So boom, to me was the defining factor. But Portland, I'm with you. I love the young core we have here in DC, man. But Portland, watch out for them in the next 3 to 4, man, because they got a nice young squad. Anthony Simons, to me, with him and Scoot, they're a couple of nice guards, man. Scoot's trying to pick it up a little bit. Tamani Camara, I liked him coming out of the draft in his respective draft. Shaden Sharp, shout out to University of Kentucky, man. I'm a Kentucky guy. Shaden Sharp, man, while he was very raw, he was a high flyer in Kentucky, man. I believe he didn't even play at Kentucky, if I can remember. But he is, I'm telling you, I was there that night when he did that dunk in Cap 1, man. Unreal athleticism. Then you add Denny to the equation, Jonathan Clean. So they got a nice young score over there, man. Jabari Walker's another guy. So I'm with you on that. But looking at the stats real quick for our beloved Wiz kids, man. Jordan Poole and Chris Middleton, only 10 minutes. So I felt like that was kind of questionable because overall you had 11 Wizards play. And I get it, they're in evaluation mode because you saw guys like Colby Jones got 24 minutes. Anthony Gill got 21 minutes. Justin Champagnie, I'm not too, 19 minutes. I kind of expected more for Champagnie. But when you look at Middleton and Poole only getting 10, you kind of see what it is. AJ Johnson started 34 minutes last night. He led all Wizards in minutes, and he had 8.7 rebounds. So, I mean, look at AJ Johnson real quick, AB. What is your expectations? What his role can be going forward with the Wizards?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Like maybe put on a little weight. Maybe him and Alex Sarr can go on the bulk just a little. But I think right now it's just go out there and see what he can do. Because again, there's no expectations on him. Just facilitate. We mentioned it. You mentioned 8.7 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 block. So if he has the ability to impact not just offense but defensively and just be aggressive. Rebounding has been an issue that we've seen these past couple of years for the Wizards. So if he can go out there, 7 rebounds. Not the biggest guy on the court, but at the end of the day, if he's out there hustling, that's all we can ask for. And just him finding that role as the pivotal point, especially as a young guy in his career, because he He was a Milwaukee first round pick this past year, right? So again, sorry, I'm brain farting, but it's just like, again, young guy, fits the timeline, see what you can do out there and try to find your role.
Look, I agree 100%. I think that, again, asking the question about 10 minutes for Middleton and Poole, I get it. A few people made it known. Derek made it known. I don't know if he's, I don't know. But he kind of, said they were holding him out the tank. Yeah, I totally get that. But then I don't get that. Like, you still play them. I don't see why you only give them 10 minutes. You still play them because, like I said, what I got to reiterate this, and I don't know why, it's still not understood, but they can lose every single game, man. And we only have a 14% chance. So play everybody. Play everybody, because right now you're building culture. You can lose all the rest of the games. And look at the last draft. Atlanta did not have the worst record in the NBA, and they had the first overall pick. So what does that tell you? It is a gamble. It is like playing craps, man. It is. It's a roll of the dice. So you might as well prioritize development and culture. So I think you still play your guys, man. And, Poole, you play them more than 10 minutes. So I get it from the perspective of their tanking, and I get all that, man. And then everybody's, either happy or unhappy about that. I don't really care, because to me, it's meaningless. You still only have a 14% chance to get the first overall pick, man. And even then, you have so much talent in this top 10, and we're not going to fall any lower than top 5. So play everybody. This is my thing about it. So I'm not going to harp too much about it. It is what it is. But real quick before we move on, some other people to look at. Like I said, Martin, man, Jalen Martin looked pretty good. 11.6 rebounds, 5 for 10 for the field, 1 for 3 from 3. So like I said, everybody ate last night. 11 Wizards played. Now, Alex Sarr, 20 points after dropping 34 points, 20 points, 4 rebounds, shooting 7 for 16 for the field, 3 for 9 for 3, 1 steal and 2 blocks. So was aggression the one key component that kind of unlocked Alex Sarr in your eyes, AB?
Yeah, no, definitely, man. It was great to see that. I'm telling you, B, people are starting to put respect on this guy's name after that performance against Denver, against Nikola Jokic, probably one of the greatest centers of all time. I'm telling you, once he gets that motor running and once that shot consistently falls down, and defensively he's already there, and his ability to catch lobs, very athletic, a top 5 center in this league. And he's not even, I think the guys mentioned he's not even 20 yet, so he can't even drink legally. So it's just like, at the end of the day, this guy, like, the potential is there. All it was that offensive aggression that we desperately need to see. And again, you say it, even if there's missed shots, turnovers, at least they're doing that now and being aggressive rather than just being hesitant and being, reluctant to make a play on the ball.
Look, AB, I agree 100%, man. So like I said, guys, the Washington Wizards did lose to the Portland Trailblazers 112-97 in Portland. So looking ahead real quick, they got the last game. Thank the Lord. The last game on the 7-game road trip on Wednesday versus the Utah Jazz. And then Friday, they head back home versus the Orlando Magic. I will be there to cover the team, so I will be active in the press conference and getting that good content for you guys, man. So like I said, I will be there on Friday to cover the game. But again, AB, and like I said, we are going to I guess we're not going to really do a preview, but tomorrow night, 9 o'clock. So we're looking around 11:30. So we're going to go ahead and go live tomorrow night, guys. So it's not 12:30, 1:30 in the morning, man. So I think 11:30, we can deal with that, man. So we're definitely going to go live for that tomorrow night, 9 o'clock versus the Utah Jazz. All right, let's get into comments. But before we get into comments, y'all, tonight's episode is brought to you by Prizepicks. Basketball season is heating up, and there's no better way to get in on the action than with Prizepicks, the best place for daily fantasy sports. Because with Prizepicks, you just pick more or less on at least 2 player projections for a shot to win up 1,000 times your cash. It's easy to use, available in over 30 states, and lets you mix and match projections across different sports. I love me some Prizepicks, man. I love projecting what kind of stats people are going to play. I'm big into fantasy sports anyway, so like I said, I love to get into, certain factors, why somebody wouldn't be playing, just getting into the intricacies of betting, man. And so Prizepicks is an easy way to make money, especially not only basketball, man. You got baseball season coming up. You got the NCAA tournament. So many reasons to get in on action and make some cash, man. So look, download the app today and use promo code LOCKEDONNBA to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code LOCKEDONNBA for $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prizepicks, run your game. All right, AB, let's get into these comments, man. And like I always say, appreciate y'all rolling with us tonight, man. Definitely taking time out of your day to hear what we got to say. All right, let's tip this thing off, man. NBA news was good. It says Jordan Poole is 25 and is only playing 9 minutes. Either don't play him at all or let him play his normal role. as a Wizards fan, I want to see what the young G Leaguers have, but do it in late April. I mean, like I said, AB, I get it. And like I said, shout out to, let me bring up the name. Why isn't he coming up? Derek, because he kind of said that the NBA has, you got to play these guys certain minutes. And I get all that. But play him 25, 30 minutes. I mean, right now is the time where you set up that culture. I don't see anybody sitting. I mean, because it goes back to the point I keep making, man. You might as well, because if you're looking at it from the lens of tanking to get the worst record, last year has proven that the worst record ain't gonna get you the first overall pick. So you might as well play. You might as well build that culture. Why said Jordan Poole and let him only play 10 minutes? Put him out there for 30 minutes. Look, he's developing too. He is this close to being an all-star, but he's still developing. Chris Middleton, look, if you're not really willing to play him a lot of minutes, give him 15. But that's my thing, man. Tanking, look, there's a reason that's why they have a draft lottery, because they don't want people tanking. So let them play. I'm with you on that. And AB, I mean, do you agree, AB? Or
yeah, no, I definitely see where you're coming from. It really doesn't make a difference, because we saw it with Detroit. I mean, It would be a nightmare scenario where we fall out of the top 3, but it really doesn't make any sense, because again, you have an equal shot of 40% with the top 3 worst teams.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying, man. There's no point of taking, because, I mean, does it work per se? I mean, they initiated the lottery for tanking, and if you look at Philadelphia, good Lord, Embiid out for the year, Paul George out for the year, and now they're looking for a high draft pick. And they went through the whole process, and what did they get them? No championships, none. So, I mean, to me, the bottom floor is culture, which is what? Playing hard, playing to win. That's why you play everybody, because you want to build that camaraderie, that chemistry. You do that now. I don't want him playing 10 minutes. I just don't, because to me, you want to build that chemistry, especially Jordan Poole with these young guys, because Jordan Poole, if he's that point guard of the future, if he's that guy leading the group into the future, he needs to build as much chemistry. He already done a great job bringing these guys in his wing, but build the chemistry. That's what I want to see right now. Uptown Drain says, yo, my brothers, what's good, Uptown Dre? How you doing today, man? Gideon says, I don't know about y'all, but I'm very upset from yesterday's game, from the blatant disrespect the organization is doing here. We're already a tanking team, but what's the point in sitting all the guys? Yeah, I think a lot of people kind of echo that sentiment, man. Like, tanking's it's not guaranteed. And we can lose every single game. And it's a 14% chance, man. I mean, it's like 3 guys, at a race, man. One guy is a fast runner, one guy jogs, and one guy walks. But if you told all 3 guys you only got a 14% chance of winning the race, what does that tell you, man? You probably want to take your time. I'm just saying, that's the ironic thing about the lottery, man, is that realistically, like the NFL, you want to see the worst team get the first overall pick. And I get all that. But then comes tanking. So that's the thing. How does the NBA find that balance? As far as having a lottery, which I know is not very popular, but then preventing teams from tanking. I think that's a balance that they're really going to have to brainstorm and figure out how to combat, man, because like I said, you either love one or hate the other, but I think they have to find a nice balance between the two. Let's see. And Alan, let's see. Gideon says 22 minutes for Sar, 20 minutes from George. This is not okay. And then Alan says, how you doing? Alan says, Gideon, we're getting way too close to passing Pelicans on being out the bottom 3. So, and I get it, when you start looking at the bottom top 5 and top 3, that does have a factor. I think we're trying to keep pace with the Jazz and the Pelicans and the Hornets. I don't think we're really going to have to work too hard, man. The Jazz, we're about to play them on Wednesday. Very winnable game. Pelicans, they're another dumpster fire, man. I mean, it's just so much talent, man. Let me ask you, AB. I rake my mind thinking about this all the time, man. Whose fault is it in New Orleans, man? I mean, Zion, the fault is the spoon, I guess. But I mean, you got I know, right? I mean, look, you got CJ McCollum. You had Brandon Ingram, which to me is he's going to be a really good player, man. He's like JP. He's a fringe all-star. You got talent there, man. DeJounte Murray obviously went out with an injury, but
Trey Murphy, B, I'm telling you, he's a beast.
Yeah, Trey Murphy is a beast, man. I mean, they got some good talent. Where's the fault lie? Is it
honestly
injuries?
I don't even know whether you can blame injuries, whether you can blame, because obviously when there's a lot of hype and no one's doing good, you got to point the finger somewhere, and I don't know if it's the coach, I don't know if it's the organization, I just don't know. And it sucks so much because I was the biggest Zion Williamson fan coming out of college. Yeah. But just seeing how he play, and we've seen it when no distractions, nothing off the court, and when his conditioning is good, he's a beast. But it's just like seems like he's always getting in the way, and it does suck. But again, you have that much time, and that's it's bad. Here's the thing with the Wizards and Pelicans. Obviously, there's talent in both.
Yeah.
But it's one thing being bad, while you have young players. But when you have that much talent, veterans, and you're still as bad as a team that only has young guys, that means something. So it's really embarrassing the situation that's happening in New Orleans. It's going to be interesting to see what they do in the future.
Yeah, I agree, man. And I'm, there's times where I'm hard on Zion because of the way it is. Because I firmly believe that if you make millions of dollars and if playing basketball is your job, then you should treat it like a job. You should be in the best shape imaginable. But I'm going to flip the script real quick. I blame the organization because let's be real, man. A lot of these guys are young. A lot of these guys have never had this amount of money in their life. And when you put a guy in New Orleans with that cuisine, I mean, you got to put some kind of limitations. I mean, make it where he has to weigh in. Be a lot more stringent than you have been. They haven't been tough enough. I mean, yeah, you want to challenge him to be that professional. But then on the flip side, I mean, these young guys, a lot of them come from, the country. They already come from the inner cities. They've never had this money before. And then, from an organizational standpoint, you have to take care of your investment. They're not. You need to be like, look, Zion, this is what the expected weight needs to be. This is what we expect. You either show up at this weight or we're just going to take money and time away from you. I mean, but this whole back and forth, like, he's fat now. Oh, no, he's back in shape now. Oh, he's fat again now. Oh, no, he's back in shape now. It's like Ben Simmons. Oh, he can shoot threes now. Oh, he hasn't picked up that skill yet. It's a reoccurring cycle, man, where, as an organization, you run the organization. Does somebody want to take charge? I blame the organization. Like, so it's easy to blame Zion and say, all right, take the spoon out of his mouth. But, like I said, everybody's got certain different, things about themselves, man. Like me, I love to eat. I love to eat my whole life, man. When I was a kid, when I was in the Army, when I was running all the time, I still love to eat. I love to eat. So when you put a young kid, man, with millions of dollars in New Orleans, man, with baguettes and po' boys and all that good food, Lord have mercy. I mean, look, you put me in New Orleans, AB, you're probably going to be rolling me around in the wheelbarrow, bro. Like, I mean, the food is unreal. So I get it from both perspectives, man. I blame the organization more so because you're the one who runs everything. So you hold him to a standard, make him weigh in. And I don't know what happens behind the scenes, but it's failing because every year he comes in and out of shape. And then 2 weeks later, man, he looks like he just had he ate every baguette in New Orleans. Like, they got to have some kind of levels with him, man. So I'm not going to blame Zion all the way. I'm not, even though you do expect some level of professionalism as far as that being your job. But I think the organization has failed this team. You had all that talent, DeJounte Murray, CJ McCollum, Brandon Ingram, Zion Williamson, the list goes on, Trey Murphy, and you're now looking at being in the lottery. I don't see that how that happens, man. I do not see how that happens. All right, guys, let's get through this thing. DJ Duke says Brad Bill's injured again. I'm not even gonna comment, man. Bradley Bill is just wow. Just you know what? I always appreciate what Brad did off the court, what he did for the community of Washington D.C. I think he is a good guy. I think he kind of echoes Kyle Kuzma a little bit. Towards the end, he was a good guy who found every reason to be a bad guy at the end, man. But I wish him well. That's all I'm gonna say. It's just that is now the Suns' problem. Let's see, guys. I hate to miss anybody's comments, man. Uptown Drake, my guy, says we should use that second and first round pick to either draft Sorber out of Georgetown. I like Sorber. Jay Broom, I like him too, or Kalkbrenner out of Creighton. Elite defender, rebounder, and can make the triple. I like all three. So, like I said, there are three players that me and AB are definitely going to talk about once we get close to the draft, man. So, it's not just Danny Wolf, man. There's a lot of prospects in the later stages of the first round. So I see there's a discussion in here. I love discussions. I see Bucket Getter. What's good, man? It says, what's good, y'all? Still not over that game winner in Denver, man. One of the JP's biggest shots in DC in career. Finally getting the keys. I really hope we can play to win next season because last night was something else. I'm with you, man. I say it all the time. I look at the NBA as a business, and I know that look, there's a chance that they can shop him, but I think you get to a point where you got to look at what you have. You got a guy he's this close to being an all-star. He's just now entering his prime. And once he's in his prime, this team is going to be competitive. It matches up. Sadiq Bey, man, if he's still that guy after that ACL injury, I like what I saw from him in Detroit and in Atlanta. He's a baller. Cory Kispert, if he stays, I love it. If not, I get it. So, like I said, I understand the business of it, but like I said, you get to a point where you want to continue to build and build and build, especially when it comes to culture and chemistry, because we got a nice squad here. We got a nice mix between veterans, gray area players, and young prospects. So I think we should continue to build, especially next couple of drafts. AB 4 first rounders. Good Lord, come on now.
I was gonna say, the only thing that would have made that game winner more sweeter is Steve Buckhand's iconic dagger. I was saying that in my head, like, man, bro, that brought back so many memories. I saw someone commented on the channel it was like that would have only made the moment more sweeter and it just brought back some of the nostalgia.
I know, right? I totally get it, man. Nomadic Brian says each wizard should have a goal for leveling up their game. Oh, absolutely. Set a plan and execute it next season. Pieces will fall in place, and that's kind of what I'm. Once we do exit interviews after the season ends, there's some of the questions I'm gonna ask these players, man. What is the next level? So that is a perfect point, Nomadic Brian. Definitely appreciate you bringing it up, man. Derek, how you doing, man? It says 11 minutes for Poole, 19 for Keyshawn and Justin. Team never had a chance. No, they did not. Let's see. Invalid was good. It says remaining games we're playing the tanking Jazz, tanking Sixers, taking Nets, Sixers again, and Bulls along with some good teams. That's scary to me because I think it's possible we win 4. I mean, I think that there's a scenario where we can win close to 20 games and still have it. We're still going to have a top 5 at worst. You're still going to get the top 3 to top 5 picks. So, like I said, to me, I'm prioritizing because look, this team has shown they're good. Now, obviously, they're bad, but they're better than average. They're better from last year, and next year they're going to be better than this year. Once you hit the 4th year, man, 2027, we will be a playing team. And if you can hit a 8th seed or 7th seed being a playing team, then look, that year 5 AB, we're a playoff team. So we're getting better. You want to build that chemistry. You want to build that culture, and that's what they're doing. So I get it from a win standpoint, but I don't think they fall any lower than the top 5. I think we're definitely good on that front, man. Marcos Casino, how you doing, man? It says it was good to see AJ get to the rim. We need more of that. AJ's a monster, man. I mean, he's athletic. Those handles, I think he's got the best handles on the team. I watched him with his handles, man. He's got money handles, man. All right, guys, we're gonna do one more, guys. One more comment, and then we're gonna round it out with Derek. My guy, what's good, Derek? Since San Antonio got Wemby after shamelessly tanking, so they set the standard. Wiz had balanced it well, so only now realizing they are good enough to have the purposely tank down. It's just one of those situations, man. I mean, and it really comes down to this, guys. It's a roll of the dice. At the end of the day, it's a roll of the dice. The Wizards were a percentage of a point away from getting Wembanyama. I mean, we were in the hunt, so it's a roll of the dice. Like I said, this previous draft, Atlanta, if you look at record, had no business being the number 1 overall pick, but they were. So it's a roll of the dice. We could lose the rest, we could win more games, and here's the thing: we could lose the rest of the games and get the number 5 pick. We could win 5 more games, right, and get the number 1 overall pick. It's possible. So, like I said, to me, I'm prioritizing culture and chemistry. All right, AB. Before we roll, got anything else you want to say or I'll cover real quick?
March Madness is coming up, man. This is the time where NBA players, their stocks are about to go up or really down, and I can't wait.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna ask you a question real quick, AB, because that's a good point. Rutgers not in the tournament, man. So let me say this: do you think that? Obviously, when you look at the NCAA tournament, that's exposure for a lot of these young prospects. Do you think that Rutgers not being in is going to hurt or help the draft stock for Ace Bailey or Dylan Harper? What do you think?
I was thinking that, like, you have 2 projected top 5 picks and you can't even make the NCAA tournament. I don't know if it's more about the team itself coaching, but it is I'd say a little cause for concern. But at the end of the day, if you look at the stats and maybe context, but yeah, man, I was pretty disappointed that they even make the tournament.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't the best year for them overall, but I think that you see the potential with both these guys, man. Now, could they slide? There's a possibility because, like I said, once you see these guys operate under the bright lights of the NCAA tournament, then there's going to be guys that if they have a good tournament, their stock could definitely rise. And here's the thing with the draft. People rise and fall all the time. A couple drafts ago, man, I mean, Jamari Smith Jr. was supposed to be number 1 overall. Who was it? Paulo Banchero. So, I mean, people rise and fall all the time. So, all right, guys, like I said, we're going to call it a night. Definitely check us 11:30 tomorrow night live to recap the Washington Wizards and the Utah Jazz. So, we're going to go ahead and roll out. But on the way out, I'm going to let you guys know about our bracket breakdown promo. So, hail to Wizards and peace.
The NCAA tournament is here, and so is the bracket breakdown.
Locked On Podcast Network and Amazon Fire TV channels are teaming up to deliver NCAA tournament coverage like never before. Watch studio shows featuring former players and Locked On's local experts as they guide you through every upset, buzzer beater, and bracket matchup.
Stream it all for free on Amazon Fire TV channel. Search Bracket Breakdown to see it all for free.
It's your team every day.